Hello friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Allie and I am the founder of Aquarian Soul, the original crystal-infused apothecary and author of Plant Magic for the Beginner Witch and Herbs and Crystals DIY. My channel is all about herbs, crystals, and plant magic. Today, I will be sharing with you this special spell for Valentine's Day, the Self-Love Heart-Shaped Box Spell. For this spell, you're going to need a small glass heart-shaped box like this. I found this at my local thrift store and it's pretty much what inspired this entire video, but if you can't find one or you just don't have time to find one before making the spell, you can just use a little pink or red bag. You're also going to need a pink candle. It could be any size, but I like these longer taper candles. And you're also going to need some rose incense, love incense, anything that inspires you to feel calm and relaxed and happy. You're also going to need some herbs, and the first herb you'll be needing is calendula or marigold, whatever you like to call it. And you're also going to need some rosemary. I'm using fresh here, but you could use dried or fresh herbs for any of these. Whatever you have available to you. I just happen to have some rosemary growing in my garden right now. And you're also going to need some lemon peel. You could use any type of citrus peel, but lemon's just really good for removing negative energies. And you're also going to need some heather flower. This one might be a little bit harder to find, so if you can't find the heather, you can omit it. And you're also going to need some pink rose petals, some lavender, dried or fresh. I had both, so I used both, but you don't need to do that. Also some jasmine, and lastly some pink Himalayan salt. If you don't have pink Himalayan salt, any kind of salt will do. I just like the pink hue and it just happened to match with the whole theme of today's spell, but any salt will do. So let's get started. This last ingredient is optional, but if you have watched my self-love oil video, we'll be using the self-love oil. You can also substitute just plain old olive oil. It's all about your intentions, so don't worry if you don't have every single ingredient in this. It's totally optional. If you don't have this oil, you can omit it. So I started off by just cleansing the area with my rose incense, cleansing the bowl I was going to be using and the tray surrounding it, and now just add a little bit of the self-love oil or olive oil if you're using it, and just make sure to anoint your candle. And I like to anoint my candles by rubbing as above so below, so rubbing upwards and also downwards, bringing that energy down into your candle. I also like to do the bottoms and the wick. Do this however you feel comfortable. And then you can use a candle holder, but I oftentimes like to just stick it straight to the surface, so I'm just melting the bottom of the candle, letting a little bit of that wax melt down onto this beautiful rose quartz bowl I'm using, and then I'll set the candle down into it to make it stick. Of course, since this is a love spell, be it a self-love spell, we're going to be adding pink roses. And roses are ruled by the planet Venus and the element of water, and for Valentine's Day they're perfect because they're also one of the deities of Cupid. And roses have always been used for love spells. They're also really healing and protective. So if you have any past traumas with relationships or love in general, they're very healing, gentle, emotional healers. So that's why we're going to be adding them here. Pink's also just a really soft, gentle color. It's not used for romance or passion since it's a self-love spell. And you're also going to need some dried lavender. Lavender is deeply soothing, relieves anxiety, so if you've recently gone through a breakup or are going through some kind of issues in a relationship you're in right now, or even with yourself and dealing, as I mentioned, with past traumas, lavender is just a really soothing, great herb to use in any type of love work like this. And next you're going to add some jasmine. Jasmine is a flower that is ruled by the moon. It is a very feminine plant. It is a very gentle healer, and it's really great for building confidence, for feeling beautiful, really seeing the beauty within yourself. Jasmine is also said to attract a deep spiritual love, so if you're working on self-love to one day attract a partner into your life, this is a great herb to be using. I added lemon peel to this particular spell because you're not only trying to build self-confidence, self-love, self-esteem, but we're also going to be clearing out anything that is no longer serving us. Any past traumas, past bad relationships with yourself or with others, be it friends, family, romantic relationships. That's what lemon is really going to do in the spell. And next you're going to add calendula. And I added this sort of spur of the moment while I was looking up herbs to use for this, and to me calendula is just a very bright, sunny, happy herb. Calendula, or marigolds in general, are also highly uplifting and they carry the energy of the sun. So if you're feeling any type of depression or just low mood during these times, I'm sure a lot of people are, it will really help you stay uplifted and positive while trying to build self-confidence and self-love. And next, you're going to add rosemary. If you've watched any of my videos, you might have heard me say that rosemary is just one of those good general all-purpose herbs. It works for every single type of spell you could be doing, but in this one we're going to be using it mostly for its healing and protective qualities. Rosemary is great for cleansing and purifying any negativity that you might be holding on to, any negative thought patterns or things that you say in your head. You know, we all do. Whether you have high self-esteem or not, there's times you go through where you're just doubting yourself, and rosemary helps clear any of that out. Heather is associated with Isis, Osiris, Venus, and Aphrodite, so it can be used in love spells, but it's also great for new beginnings, for self-discovery, and really appreciating the beauty within yourself. And I really love heather. I feel like it's also really attached to fairy energy, and I try and add it to a lot of different things because there's not that much information on it, but it's just such a cute little flower. And this is optional because this might be harder to find for some of you guys, but you can find this on websites like Mountain Rose Herbs or something like that. You're also going to be adding salt, and I'm using Himalayan salt, but like I said, you could use any kind of salt. Salt is going to work along with that rosemary and lemon to really just get rid of any negativity, whether that's trauma, negative talk inside your head, bad past experiences, anything negative that's holding you back from real, true, deep self-love. That's what the salt is going to help do in this spell. And you're just going to sprinkle all these herbs around your candle. You can do it around the tray, as I've done. I didn't mention the orchid or the carnation because I simply just placed it around the candle, but if you wanted to take those petals apart and sprinkle it like we did with the other herbs, you can also do that. But I feel like it just adds to the beauty when you're looking at this, looking at those whole orchids and fresh flowers. I'm also adding a little bit of fresh lavender. I just happen to have some in the garden, but you do not need to do this at all. I just like the way it looked, and it adds to the whole ambiance. And lastly, I'm going to be using my own Garnet Love Spray from our store at Aquarian Soul. I really enjoy using this to cleanse the area and just really set the mood for the spell. It combines the healing benefits of flower essences, crystals, and aromatherapy. It helps open your heart chakra to allow love to enter your life, whether you're looking to attract a partner or work on self-love. This is just great for love all around. So I like to use this to cleanse the area for my love spells. And here I am just lighting the candle and putting my energy into this, just really working the candle. And a lot of people ask me, do you really sit with this candle all the way? I would say for spells, I like to just put in a really strong energy for about 10 minutes. I'll sit in front of the candle and just really focus on the good attributes about myself, what I love about myself, what I want to really call into my life, what positive things I want to manifest. And you don't need to sit there for 3 hours while this thing burns down. I mean, you can, but really when you're raising energy, you just do it for a solid 10, 15, 20 minutes if you want, and then just let the candle burn down. And once you burn the candle down, the spell is set. It's out into the ether, out into the universe. So for anyone asking that question, no, you don't need to sit there all day, but it is important to really focus for those 15, 20 minutes. Don't be thinking about anything else. And if it really, if you have trouble with this, I would suggest you meditate for about 10 minutes before you start doing any kind of spell work. Take a bath, really clear your mind. It's really important to take these steps. Otherwise, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but you're just not putting enough energy into this. And just let your candle burn all the way down before we move on to the next step. And I happened to move it into a candle holder because I actually left to do a few errands, and I did leave this in the greenhouse, but I was afraid that it was going to set the rug on fire that I have underneath. So you want to make sure there's no dried herbs around your candle if you're going to leave this unattended. And to complete the spell, once the candle is burned, just add a few of your herbs into your heart-shaped jar, and you can put a little piece of paper in there with an intention or something, but I like to just keep this on my bedside table, if you work at a desk, somewhere where you're going to be seeing this often, and every time you look at it, you can be reminded of this very spell you did and why you did it and how much you do love yourself and all the good things about you, all your wonderful talents and good attributes, everything that makes you you. And whether or not you struggle with low self-esteem or low self-worth or anything, this is just a really important reminder for all of us, especially after last year and everything we're still going through. Sometimes it can be hard to remember these things when the state of the world's pretty much in shambles. So, I hope this spell could help at least one of you. And if you have any questions about any of the steps in this, I know I tend to ramble sometimes and I'm very scatterbrained, so I know I forgot some step along the way. So if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. Again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys!